train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching for why. Dun, 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 dun. This Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. I just love it, John.
I hate you.
Pokemon.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the TopCup podcast. Joke's on you. It isn't. This is actually the TeaCup. Number 2. The second one. The Incarnation. The Retribute.
TeaCup, episode 2, Electric
following.
Boogaloo.
Huh? Deluxe edition.
Deluxe edition. Yes.
How many things go with 2?
I don't know how deluxe edition fits in with 2.
Super Ultra Combo Pack.
Champion level.
Okay, cool.
Wait.
Yeah, so this is the second episode, and so as you know, as Joel is not with us today, and mainly because he was bragging about it so much, got killed by Daniel, because Daniel got mad about the last episode that he heard from Beyond the Grave.
I became the Angel of Vengeance.
Yes. So he came back, killed Joel, and took his place. So that's why he's here.
I wear skin.
Mm-hmm. But however, in doing so, he also, in a very Daniel-like fashion, didn't bring any topics with him. So, well, okay. He had like one topic that I also had. It was a mutual topic. However, that topic is not particularly going to be taking, I mean, it could, don't get me wrong, it could definitely last a very long time. But at that point, I think it kind of merges into rambling territory. So we decided, you know what, this podcast would just be a nice, short, simple little TeaCup.
And now we have a platform for short episodes. So this is good.
What was that?
Notification from school.
I hate you.
Yeah. I hate school too.
My friend just got one over at work.
School?
No,
That's great,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pain in the ass. But.
To go from like just a regular school
goer
to becoming a dean. Fuck.
Whoa.
It's insane.
A lot of lives in his hands.
Yeah.
That's the future.
Well.
So your coworker got a smartwatch.
Yeah, he got the gear. And we were talking the other day about just how beautiful the tactile feel is. He, and I found this out, apparently plays games because he wants his face to be the one from the Division. It's Isaac. It goes blip blip. So like an orange.
Cool.
It's awesome. I told him about yours. He was like, that sounds amazing. And I'm like, I know. They're awesome. It's all about Ben 10 one. It's all about Green Lantern one. Blue Lantern one. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, anyways, speaking of lanterns. There aren't any in it, are there?
No, but there may be, and
Okay.
we'll work to it.
Well, anyways, speaking of lanterns, speaking of DC, Green Lantern, Blue Lantern, all that.
Diet Coke.
You're ruining my segue. My beautiful, perfect segue that has been going on for like.
Well, you know, John,
3 minutes.
segues shouldn't exist. They defy physics, and they shouldn't exist.
Exactly. DC's Crisis on Infinite Earth. There you go.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we're talking about.
You got there. Took a while, but you got there.
I didn't know how. I don't know the name. Is it DC's?
DC CW shows.
See, there you go. You don't even know. You didn't even correct me. Anyway, so yes, Daniel, when was this announced? When was this Crisis? So real quickly, though, the CW shows, the DC CW shows every year have an event, and this year's event is going to be the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which are adaptation from the comics. Every year they've had something like they did Flashpoint at one. There was
Well, that was just okay. So they started off mainly with Flash and Arrow crossing over, and then that got really good traction, so they just did it again, and then Flash and Supergirl crossed over, and the first big crossover, if I recall correctly, was
Was it the alien ones?
Alien ones. I think it was the alien one. The invasion.
The invasion. Okay, so that was like that was Arrow. That was everything, right?
That was Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow. Okay. And then after that, there was something.
After that, there was.
Is it the Kryptonians?
No, it's a different thing. Fuck, it wasn't Earth X, was it?
Ooh. Yes, it was.
Crisis on Earth X.
Yeah, because I remember because they had to try to take out like a Supergirl, and that like wrecked their shit or some shit.
Yeah, I feel like I'm missing one though, but whatever. Crisis on Earth X. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, because
very
Nazis.
good. Yeah, because Nazis.
That's how I remember them.
And Supergirl and Green Arrow were fucking, and Green Arrow was the Führer.
The Führer.
The Führer.
The Führer.
The Führer.
Führer.
Then after Crisis on Earth X came the last one, which I completely always fail to remember the fucking.
That's fine. It doesn't matter.
Title, but
all that matters is Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yes, Crisis on Infinite Earths, and it is just so fucking weird how all this is happening.
Yeah, and when did they announce that this was going to be going on?
So official announcement that is going to happen was, let's see, towards the end of these last seasons.
The last two seasons, season 5, right, for Flash, and 7 for Arrow.
7 for Arrow.
I had no idea for fucking all the other ones.
I think it's like 4 for Supergirl and like 5 for Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, so it came towards the end. We got introduced to the Monitor, who is a big character. The Monitor,
the Flash, right?
Yeah, in the last crossover. It was Elseworlds. Elseworlds is the last crossover.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that. I don't know what it was about.
It was real good.
What was it about?
So the Monitor, which is the main guy, he took around this book, which is no, it's a different book. Anyway, it has the power to rewrite the universe. So he just gave it to this fucking guy. And to test the heroes of this universe.
I could just see him walking around, a book able to rewrite reality. Hey dude, here you go. Like, here you go.
And this guy,
he probably thought it was like, oh, do I write people's names in it? And does it die? Do they die?
Nah,
well, something like that.
It's a different book. And the Monitor gives this guy this fucking book. He rewrites some shit, and Flash and Green Arrow have to figure shit out, and then
is that where they switch?
Yeah, they end up switching. I think in the Flash's episode.
So is it like this Monitor guy? Is he like some fifth dimensional kind of guy?
Not really. So the Monitors, plural, because there are quite a few. In the most recent kind of things, canon, I guess, in the most recent canon, the Monitors watch over the greater multiverse. In more recent stories, after the New 52, they watch over the 52 known universes or main universes, and the Monitor kind of has the power to travel between all of these universes and, I guess, interfere or just not. Like, usually they're just kind of like,
so it's really however they wanted.
Yeah, they just kind of they overwatch things, and they just keep the universes safe to the best of their abilities from cosmic threats, and that's kind of what this guy's doing. He's preparing this universe that we know so from the CW shows, for what he constantly repeats, the coming crisis.
Oh, he's like the big fucking like armored looking dude.
Yeah, with the weird hair. So in the comic storyline, it all pops off because of something called the Anti-Monitor. So the Anti-Monitor is basically just going around killing universes because that's what it do.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually the multiverse gets threatened, and just a bunch of heroes from different universes try to stop it. And that's the general sense of it. In that in that comic run, I believe Supergirl dies, and then Barry disappears.
Oh, okay.
Because he does something to stop two Earths from colliding or something, or two universes from colliding, and by
how many times does that used? Because like I'm pretty sure the Marvel has something like that.
well, yeah,
that
Marvel had that shit with
the
Ultimates.
Well, yeah, it was called the Incursions,
Mm-hmm.
and that was when all the universes were colliding with each other, and that's how they kind of just did their own kind of thing, retconned a lot of them.
Yeah.
Who did it first?
Probably DC, honestly. But yeah, so Barry takes in too much energy. He stops the thing, but too much energy goes through him, and he just fucking phases out of existence. Turns out trapped in the Speed Force, as we learn later in Final Crisis, 25 years later, 27 years later, I can't remember. But during this time, Wally takes over as the Flash, becomes the better Flash.
He fast as Flash.
And then Barry pops out of the Speed Force in Final Crisis, which is a very good.
So it sounds like the
too.
the DC comic books just have a lot of crisis going on.
Yeah, they have a various amount of crises. Yeah, it's like Crisis on Infinite Earths, Final Crisis. They just had one. I think there was like one before even called Identity Crisis. Their most recent one just happened a few months ago. It was called Heroes in Crisis. Somebody just there's this safe haven for supervillains and superheroes to go to for like therapy and shit. It's basically like a rehab for super people. And yeah, and a bunch of supervillains get murked, and they try to find out who did it.
Wasn't that Flash?
Yeah, it ended up being Wally. I think Wally ended up killing Psycho Pirate, who has been weirdly like important in the past few.
That's weird.
In the past
Did Wally
few
have
years.
Like a reason, or?
I can't for the life of me remember. I didn't get to read the book.
Oh
well. But Psycho Pirate was teased at the end of Elseworlds. So we might see him as a big thing in the coming Crisis.
Okay. So I guess the thing that I'm trying to figure out is that this is based off just the OG Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, CW is going to take their liberties with it.
Right, so it's not going to follow the same.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking on the idea of them teasing someone else, they've also been teasing and confirming a lot of other things, right? A lot of other shows.
Hell of a lot of other shows.
Namely,
a lot of other people.
And this is how I originally found out about this and then got super into it, was when they announced that Tom Wellings was going to be appearing. Tom Wellings, for any of you who don't know, was the Clark Kent, I think is the best way of saying it. The Clark Kent of the old 2000s TV show. I don't know.
Started in 2005, went to 2011.
Yeah. Smallville.
That's not right. Started in 2001?
Yeah.
Went to 2011.
Yeah, because it was 10 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's weird calling it old, but yeah.
Yeah.
He is
old.
He
looks good.
He does. He looks
real good.
Dare I say, fine daddy material.
Yes.
Anyways,
that is correct.
So yeah, so I found out about this when like tabloids, not really tabloids, articles started coming out about Tom Wellings joining. I care about that because I like Smallville. I really enjoy it. It was one of my favorite things growing up. And I thought Tom Wellings was a good Clark Kent. I really enjoyed him. Welling, whatever. Well, anyways. So yeah, I found out about that. And I remember this was like 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. About 2 to 3 weeks ago.
Close to a month.
I found out about this, and I remember I sent like the pictures to Daniel. I was like, dude, did you hear about this? And I remember we were talking about it, expressing how interested, hyped we were. And then we got in like a little tiny debate of whether or not he would don a cape. Mm-hmm. Because for any of you that don't know, Tom Welling originally never wanted Clark Kent to, or in Smallville, wanted to become Superman. He wanted to remain Clark Kent. And for the most part, that stays true. It's only at the very final episode or two,
final episode,
that he has a cape, but even then, that's not actually him. It's a CGI version of him. They've hinted at like the cape before, maybe the suit. They haven't really shown anything. And then like in the comics, season 11, so after season 10 ended, which was the final season of Smallville, they continued on with a comic book run following it called Smallville season 11.
Yeah.
Which apparently is now going to be canon. It is now canon, not going to be specifically referenced, but still somewhat referenced.
Yeah.
Because
a lot of shit went down in the season 11 comics.
To say the least, at the end of Smallville, Martha Kent, Clark's mother, sold the farm, or gave the farm to Clark, who then decided to sell it. And that was it. He sold the farm. Season 11, in the comic books, he bought it back, I believe.
Shit, I can't remember.
Yeah. So he bought it back in season 11. And in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, he's going to be owning the farm. So they're going to be acknowledging that season 11 is canon by showing that he bought back the farm, or owns the farm now. And the only way for that to happen is if they acknowledge that he bought it back in season 11. So anyways, that's how I knew about it. But yeah, so we were debating as to whether or not he'd be wearing the cape. I thought if they're going to be continuing from season 11, or at least acknowledge that it's canon, I feel it's only right that Clark is now Superman, and that in this new show, or in his cameo, I guess, he will be Superman. It only makes sense because I think they're keeping the time year gap. Right? So even though they ended in 2011, they're acknowledging that it's been like 10 years since that last thing. So to me, to say that, oh yeah, he's now like what, 30 years old, 40 years old, Clark Kent Smallville at that time, to acknowledge that and say he's not Superman kind of feels off, especially how in the comics he does eventually take up the title and mantle of Superman. To just go back on that would seem odd. That's why I said he would have a cape. But I think you had some other thoughts, right?
I just didn't think that season 11 and everything's going to be acknowledged, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to show him in his suit.
Right.
I remember one of the big issues in Smallville with the suit was that he didn't want to wear it, which was a whole thing, and I think why we only got it in the last episode, and it was just a brief glimpse on him. I think it looks sick, especially if they went with the design from the season 11 comics, because I really like it.
It's like a kind of like a, how did it look? It kind of
it's close to New 52.
Yeah, it was like kind of New 52, but still had that more classic. Like had like kind of like, if I remember correctly, had like those battle like tactical lines on it, but like didn't look armored. So I thought it was a cool little blend. Personally, I love the New 52 looks. I love the battle armor kind of stuff. That style, to me, I'm all for it. I know a lot of people didn't really like it. You know, whatever. But fuck them. You know, simple. Fuck them. I liked it.
The plated armor look was really good. So I really hope that they kind of adopt that. But I'm very excited. Honestly, the pictures that have been shown so far of
like
him,
renders?
Yeah. Well, no, just him and Erica Durance, who plays Lois Lane, returning as Lois Lane. It was just a picture of Tom Welling dressed like Clark Kent and Erica dressed as Lois.
Right in front of the barn.
Yeah, right in front of the barn. They were just hugging each other and smiling, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
It looked more like they were just like off, like off, not offset, behind the cameras, like snapshot, but it still looked good.
Yeah, and it still felt like Smallville. Like the last thing I saw Tom Welling in was Lucifer, and he played Kane, and it was a very serious role, and he never really smiled like he did. And like just seeing him in that one picture smile with Erica Durance, it was fantastic.
So then in that case, new questions: Well, I actually don't want to get into it, but I'll save it for later. I'm gonna mark that.
Okay.
Have you seen any of the renders that the artist renders of Tom
Welling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen what Superman is he going to be based off? He's going to be based off the.
It's weird. It's never really talked about.
Really?
Because I think he's supposed to be based off of the original Superman movies, but also not.
I thought he was going to be the current Superman in the comics.
Perhaps. I mean,
which one's the one?
The Rebirth Superman? Or?
Is that the one that had where he was married to Lois and they had John?
That was pre-New 52 Superman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
I would love for that to happen.
I saw a render of him in that, and you know how he has that like spandex sleek black suit. There was a render of him in that, and I think that personally fits him the best.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, it's mainly because you like him in the black outfit.
I do. Okay, well, I like him in the cloak. I like him in the dope black cloak. Don't get me wrong, I did like the red one as well, but for just like his build, because he's very, very top heavy.
Yeah.
He is almost fucking Justice League animation. Super skinny legs, fucking triangle upper torso. So I feel like it fits a little bit better because that Rebirth Superman kind of fits. He's very big, and he has a really huge chest. And he's just like an older Superman. That Rebirth Superman is like in his 30s, 40s, I think.
Well, it's weird because New 52 Superman had to die, and then pre-New 52 Superman came and took over as Superman for
that Superman.
That Superman, and then they merged somehow and became.
Wait, that one got revived?
Something fucking happened, and they merged somehow, and they were just like two pieces of a puzzle that were separated by Dr. Manhattan from the Doomsday Clock shit.
Oh yeah, that was
it's a whole fucking thing, but yeah.
Scaling off of Lois then.
Yeah, scaling off of Lois.
He would be like in her timeline, he was like what, 30 or 40?
Something like that.
Because like I'm assuming they were married, so they were like 20 somethings. They got married. They were probably together for up until 30, right? And then John, their son, right? He's like 8 or 10 years old, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's like
probably like 40s.
He's like late 30s, 40s, I would say. So, anyways, that just happens to be like the age of Tom Welling, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's close to late 40s, I think now.
Yeah, so it's a little bit closer to his own age. So I think the look just works.
I agree.
But
I skipped over that render because I'm tired of seeing fan arts.
Yeah,
when it comes to the Crisis stuff, I just want to see the actual shit they're pumping out for Crisis, because there is so much shit that we have to cover and that we have yet to cover. Going back, this thing was technically announced like first season of The Flash. Because we see the article from the future saying that he disappeared in a crisis, with red skies. Yeah, so it was like set up from the beginning that Barry's gonna disappear.
Yeah, so this is gonna primarily affect Barry's whole overarching storyline of him disappearing, because some of the other seasons would like change the date of when it happened, or the article was just suddenly gone or something like that.
Yeah, so very recently after Elseworlds, the counter of when the year Barry dies, which was in like 2049 or something, wound down to 2019 for the date that Crisis starts.
Is it died or disappeared?
Disappeared, but I mean, people are gonna think he's dead.
Right.
Either way. Yeah.
And so this whole disappearance thing is probably going to be similar to the comic book where he just up and vanished at the end of Infinite Earths, right? But it turns out he was just in the Speed Force.
Yeah.
So this is probably going to be like their whole Wally taking over kind of thing. If they do that.
I hope so, because he's been gone for a little while.
Right, because he was with
Well, he was with the Legends for like a season, and then he left, and then he just gets referenced to, and he hasn't showed up since.
Interesting.
Because I think what's his name, Keenan something. I don't know. He just stopped showing up
Maybe
in the shows, so maybe he's just taking a break on his own. I don't know. But
But yeah, speaking of like Legends and how we even mentioned Lucifer, Tom Welling, again. So the Smallville thing, that was never, or was it a CW original?
It was a CW original.
It was a
well,
CW,
I mean,
but it wasn't.
Technically, it was WB. Then
Okay, right. Technically
CW
back
bought
then.
the station.
Right. But it was never part of these.
The Arrowverse? No.
The Arrowverse.
No, it
right.
predated it.
Which still
quite a
bothers
while.
me that it's called the Arrowverse.
I mean, what the fuck else are you gonna call it?
Look, now it's something entirely. The DCU.
It started with the Arrow. It started with Arrow.
But I would say this is a better version of the DCU than the fucking DCU.
Well, yeah, but DC's not gonna fucking slap
That's
a
all I'm
label on
saying.
it and just call it a day, you know?
Look,
Like it's the Arrowverse.
whatever. Anyways, I forgot.
It's either
Right.
the Arrowverse or the Berlantiverse. But
I guess one rings better. Anyways, right. So that Smallville, that show was never originally a part of this. So having them announce that Tom Welling was going to be a part of it, and they were going to be bringing in essentially Smallville cast, was a huge surprise. I feel to a lot of people because that stuff doesn't really happen all that much. I think the only time it has happened in our Arrowverse is when we took over Supergirl because she was originally ABC,
NBC,
ABC, one of them.
CBS,
CBS,
NBC.
NBC.
Definitely wasn't ABC.
It was something.
It was
not CW.
I think it was the one with the peacock.
Okay, it was. Yeah, that's NBC.
But
Okay.
yeah, no, definitely was not CW.
Because they were going to like end after one season.
Yeah, no.
Even though a lot of people actually liked it.
Yeah, they straight up dropped Supergirl.
Yeah, and then CW was like, "Nah, bitch, we'll take over," because we already have this whole thing going on.
Yeah.
So they took that, and then like the other thing was what, Constantine
Yeah.
with the Legends of Tomorrow, where they incorporated that.
Well, first so the Supergirl thing was a big deal, mainly because everybody wanted them to cross over with the existing Arrowverse.
Right, but because of companies.
Yeah, because of companies, it was a big deal. But the Flash Supergirl crossover happened before Supergirl came to CW.
Right,
and then
yeah.
that was probably what opened the door to them taking Supergirl.
Yeah, because people were just like, you can't just do that and end it.
Yeah,
like that.
And by the time Supergirl went on air, I think Constantine had already gotten canceled after its first season.
And Constantine was also a CW show, right?
No,
Or
Constantine was on a different, I think, Fox. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it might have been Fox.
Yeah,
it's pretty gritty.
It was on a different network, but it got canceled after one season. But he ended up showing up in season 4 of Arrow.
Yeah, that's one of the beautiful things.
That's great.
I will give CW the props on all of that, is the fact that they take, like, they're willing to work.
Straight.
Well, yeah, essentially, like they were just like, hey, Supergirl, we're buying you. No, we're not replacing anyone. You all have the same roles, same looks.
You're just coming home.
You're just coming over here. Yeah, coming home. Like the same outfits.
Get a nice
and
Sunday
everything.
slot.
Yeah.
Better budget.
Hey, you remember how you were in Studio 12 and now you're in Studio 20? I don't know what fucking studio they
Kevin
use.
Smith gets to direct a handful of episodes.
Right.
And he does good. He did good work.
Yeah, no, he did. Okay, well, so moving on. What else was there? The other big news aside from Smallville was what?
Let's go down the list. So it started off with John Wesley Shipp, who originally played Barry's dad who went on to play what's his name? Jay Garrick from Universe 2, who then went on to play his original role as the Flash from the 90s series.
Right.
So he showed up in Elseworlds, I think episode 2. As him. He was the Flash. Like the whole promo for Elseworlds was a bunch of fucked up heroes laying on the floor, which another Smallville character, Justin Hartley's Green Arrow from Smallville, like you can see him on the floor, which is very cool.
Was he as the Arrow or just as?
Well, I mean, it didn't show him; it just showed his costume. So
wait,
that kind of blew people's minds. Yeah. And then John Wesley Shipp dressed as the Flash in his original Flash costume, which had like the muscle padding and stuff. And
oh wow!
Yeah, like it was it, and that was a big deal. And then he showed up in Elseworlds, and then now he's coming back, and then we have Tom Welling coming back as Superman. Bigger news than that really was Brandon Routh reprising his role as Superman from Superman Returns.
Right, which
is technically a continuation of the canon of the original Superman movies.
Yeah, because those are movies. They weren't even originally a part of, like, they weren't a TV show that like the network decided, hey, we'll take you in. No, they were completely different things.
Yeah.
And
he's playing Kingdom Come Superman,
right,
which is going to be very fucking interesting.
I don't really know much about Kingdom.
I just read it recently. It's great. It's great. The art's great. If I could do like a motion comic of that, just voicing everything, then I would. Yeah. Heavily has to do with the Spectre, and then the big heroes, and then some heroes that we didn't even know.
Okay, I'll have to look into it then. Yeah,
it's really good. Yeah, Kingdom Come Superman, Brandon Routh,
who also played Adam originally.
Yeah. And it's kind of, I think, a good goodbye for him because he's leaving the show this season. Yeah, so Ray Palmer's leaving the show, and we're getting Ryan Choi, who is the second Adam, but that comes later. So Brandon Routh reprising his role. Tom Welling coming back as Superman. Erica Durance coming in as Lois. Then we get Kevin Conroy showing up for his first time as Batman. Kevin Conroy having voiced the wonderful Batman, the animated series Batman, and he is the Batman for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, when you hear his voice, you just
that's fucking Batman.
Yeah.
Like, he even has a story about it from 9/11.
Yeah. How he would just like kind of talk using the voice, and it would bring comfort to a lot of the victims.
Yeah, and it's
people going through all that. And
fucking wild. Kevin Smith has a good interview from his early days of Fat Man on Batman, and it's just him and Kevin Conroy, and Kevin Conroy telling...
Link that.
Huh? To link that?
You're going to have to link that.
God, it is a wonderful podcast, and Kevin Conroy seems like just a great guy.
Yeah. Very much so how when we hear the Joker, we assume it's going to be Mark Hamill. Yeah. Or if we... Now, it's really interesting. We have a lot of people that you see them and you think this person, but you hear them and you think this other person. So right now, I just want a Heath Ledger, but with only the voice of Mark Hamill. I want to see how that was.
That's really weird. I'm sure we can deep fake that somehow.
Yeah, probably.
Or just dub over the audio. Anyway, let's see what else. Burt Ward. I got that. I think I got that right.
I don't know.
Burt Ward. So Burt Ward played Robin in the Batman 66 show with Adam West. So he's fucking coming back. And there was a picture of him on set walking a German Shepherd. And so people were like, that might be Ace the Bat Hound. Why the fuck not? You know?
Fuck it.
But dude just really loves dogs. Also, he created a very successful, very good dog food company.
Oh wow,
that is very healthy for dogs.
What's it called?
I totally can't remember.
Cool.
but yeah, so Burt Ward, Kevin Conroy. So that's a good Batman and Robin stack. And then we have just very recently announced Lucifer coming to fucking. To play around, I guess.
Yeah, so Lucifer was originally what?
Lucifer was originally Fox.
They were originally Fox. They got about 3 seasons?
3 seasons in.
Got dropped. Got picked up
by Netflix.
After so many fans were just like, save fucking Lucifer, please. NBC, what the fuck were you doing? Right, NBC? Fox, whatever. Fox, what were you doing? And thankfully, they got picked up.
Picked up by Netflix. Had a kick-ass season.
They had a really good season.
And they're going for one last one.
And so, yeah, I was talking to Daniel about it, which I was telling him, I feel like at some point, I just would love to see Constantine and Lucifer just have like a little thing between them, like the little dialogue exchange, something, because I just think that would be pretty fun, given that. So Constantine deals with a lot of magic side of DC and kind of like demons and all that kind of stuff, and then Lucifer being the fucking devil. So just seeing how they would go about like
that interaction.
Yeah. Lucifer being a very not the biggest fan of demons and all of that, right? If I remember correctly. I mean, he has a few friends, I think. Or...
Yeah, no. One of his friends is a demon, but it's less that he doesn't really like demons, more like he doesn't like his job.
Right,
and that's why
that
he
involves
a
lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's the association too, because he doesn't like being associated with the idea that humans created of the devil and how he's responsible for everything bad.
Right.
And I think the association with demons kind of plays into that too. But yeah, him interacting with Constantine, that's gonna be really interesting.
Or Lucifer.
Lucifer interacting with Constantine is gonna be really interesting. I think it's either like, yo, John.
Yeah, because like
you come to pay up or what?
Yeah, because he sold his soul, right? Or...
Yeah, at some point, John Constantine like soul is fucking just belongs to the devil.
Yeah,
but
and is it because also like Lucifer is also a very interesting style of the devil. He's more of a you feel for him kind of a more empathetical devil. Just a lot of it came from issues with his family, being God and his mother and all that, and his position less out of want and more out of punishment. Punishment. Kind of punishment kind of thing. And because of which he has a very interesting view on like angels, demons, and on humans. Like
just celestial beings.
Yeah, all humans. Beings, because like he was an angel, then became the devil, and so he worked with demons, and then he helps out on Earth, and so he has like this really interesting viewpoint, which is pretty much like not everyone is equally capable of being a dick. Like I know plenty of angels that don't deserve it. I know demons that aren't the worst. Like they're pretty tame for what people imagine. And then there are a lot of humans, which again Lucifer really touches on since he's in the mortal world. A lot of humans that he just is like, you don't deserve to be here. You are a horrible person. So he has this really neutral view on almost every being, both celestial and mortal, which is really interesting.
Yeah, he kind of like, especially with humans, he kind of makes it a point that he gives them a choice. Like somebody kind of throws it at him that they think that the devil's responsible for all evil in the world, and he kind of like gets a little pissy about it. And he's like, I hate when people say that. I give everyone a choice. I make deals and I deal out punishment. That's my job. I don't like control your actions. I might whisper in your ear, but like I don't control your actions.
Yeah, like I think
so humans can be just as much of a devil as the devil.
Yeah, because they've touched on that where like if the person's will is stronger than his own whisper, they just kind of snap out of it, or they just kind of don't really, or they realize like, no, I don't want to do that. Yeah, like I think he's done that a few times, and like someone it would like surprise him. They were just like, what the fuck? What? No.
Yeah, and he's just like, it must be off today.
Yeah, it must be off. Interesting.
Yeah, like it intrigues him, but but
yeah,
him and John, that's gonna be such an interesting interaction. And honestly, if they're going as far as to bring in Lucifer, I think it opens the door for Sandman stuff. I don't know if we would get it. It's pretty obscure at this point in time, but
we don't have that yet, do we?
Not yet. But
it'd be kind of interesting to tease it before like we even have it though.
Yeah.
Maybe a reference.
Maybe. Because Dreamer is a character currently in Supergirl. And her power is her dreams like predict shit. And Sandman has a dreamer of their own. I think his name's Daniel. He like has involvement within that, so I think that would be a good outlet for them to push any type of Sandman stuff. Oh, I did forget one. The original Black Canary from the older Birds of Prey show is coming too.
Birds
so
of
now
Prey,
we're gonna have fucking 3 Black Canaries
and
again.
Someone who Kevin Conroy, isn't he marrying Catwoman?
Oh right, no. So that
Or is that someone else?
no, that is a really fucking interesting Easter egg that they're gonna have, which is Tim Burton's '89 Batman. With oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? Michael Keaton. So they put out a picture of a newspaper article with Michael Keaton's Batman like looking young from the movies and stuff, announcing his engagement to Selena Kyle. So
do they show who it is for Selena Kyle?
No, but I mean it's probably just Michelle Pfeiffer, we assume.
I want Anne Hathaway or Halle Berry.
God no. Catwoman did just get cast for the new Batman movie.
Yeah, but like think about it though. If they have about like Halle Berry, right? She was the original. Or
like the movie.
In the movie, yeah. That would be hilarious if they throw Halle Berry or Anne Hathaway, either one, just to
just breeze over the best Catwoman.
Which one was the
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh yeah.
God, I need to re-up my DC
universe. The Anne Hathaway, wasn't she in
Dark Knight Rises?
So Christopher Nolan's. So that's what I'm saying. If you have Anne Hathaway, that connects it to the Nolan series, and if you have the Halle Berry one, that's just Halle Berry. So it's just fun.
Anyway,
I'm just saying,
it just pictures Bruce. It doesn't picture Selena. But that is a really cool fucking Easter egg.
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, because I think the whole thing that we're trying to get at is how amazing and interesting it is that for this one they just decided to pull out all the stops and just try to connect as much as they can to Arrowverse in some kind of way. Like really obscure TV shows that we never thought would ever get mentioned. Not obscure TV shows, but obscure in the sense of they're no longer pop culture, or they're pop culture, but they're not mainstream pop culture.
Also want to mention is Black Lightning.
Right. Well, he has his own TV show.
Yeah, currently he has his own show, but it's a lot more low key than the rest of the Arrowverse, honestly.
Yeah, it doesn't get as much traction.
Yeah, season 1, like as much as I appreciated it didn't grab me too. Like
I saw a few episodes.
Like, I feigned interest like very quickly, but I finished the first season.
It doesn't like capture your interest as much as like Flash season 1 or Supergirl season 1.
And I think honestly a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was already he was a retired hero, like he was already established, and then he just jumped back and like there's no origin. And I think that's what kind of grabs you about the other Arrowverse series is that
it's the beginning, their origins.
You get to grow with these people and grow
with them.
grow with them and go along their journey with them and see how they become heroes. But then Jefferson, I think is his name, Jeff, he's already an established hero, and the only thing that is a problem is that he used to be addicted to the hero life, and that it interfered with his family.
Right.
And
then his family ends up getting into it. Yeah.
Both of his daughters, superpowers.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like post season 1, like I have no idea what happens. But
right. Yeah. No, same here.
I'm gonna have to go back eventually.
But yeah, no. I think just the main thing, like I said, that we wanted to talk about is because I don't think either one of us had any idea, just like, because when the Crisis was announced and we first heard of a few rumors as to who would be in it. I remember when you and I were just talking about Smallville, just being amazed by Smallville. And then just Smallville. Like since then we have just gotten title after title after title after title, just hey, we're throwing these guys in. And it was really interesting because, again, going back, we were just like, oh, well, that show isn't connected to CW or at least Arrowverse anymore. That's really cool of them to like give a nod to that. That's awesome. And then now we're getting other really like interested, like nowadays obscure TV shows, movies. I mean, again, I'm not saying that people are obscure or the characters are obscure. For some of them, they are the staple. Again, with Kevin Conroy, and for some people, even heck, depending on how old you are, I guess Brandon Routh's Superman Returns. I remember I saw that in theaters when I was a kid.
I just saw it recently,
and that was like the only.
It's on Netflix now.
Yeah, that was the only Superman up until
until Man of Steel.
Snyder's, right?
Yeah,
Snyder's. Yeah, so like he was for a while everyone's current Superman. So. That's why
he did damn good.
Yeah, he did pretty. Yeah, I liked him.
Not a lot of speaking from him.
The CGI was kind of bad back then.
Actually, it was actually pretty on point. Like it holds up pretty well. Like I said, I just watched it recently, and it holds up pretty well.
I'm going based off memory.
He doesn't talk a lot. That's a whole other. Anyway, yeah. So it's fucking weird. Like we have the whole Arrowverse cast. We have Supergirl, Green Arrow. Fucking already 2 Black Canaries, and now they're adding a third one. Fucking the Flash and his team. Then we're getting 3 Supermen from Tyler Hoechlin.
Which
Brandon
is
the current Superman and
the current
Supergirl.
Superman and Supergirl.
Brandon Routh coming as Kingdom Come Superman, and then Tom Welling from Smallville. We're getting. Fuck, who else?
Essentially 3 Batmans.
Yeah. Who knows what Burt Ward is going to be doing? Because he damn well isn't going to be Robin.
4 if they... Well, he could be an old Robin.
Well, he could be Red Robin from the Kingdom Come universe.
How old is he now?
Burt Ward?
Yeah.
Fucking probably 60-something.
You could just say he's the current Batman in his universe.
True.
And he could just reference Adam West.
True.
So you could have 4, potentially 5 Batmans at that point. That's again, it's insane. I just wanted to mention, feel slightly burned. They didn't mention Gotham. Just saying.
Yeah.
I was just like, what's
I mean, if they pull Ben McKenzie in as Commissioner Gordon, that I wouldn't mind. Speaking of bats, we also have Batwoman who just started last week. With Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose. I was like, I couldn't remember. And I was like, no, it's Rose. I just don't remember the first one. Yeah, she just started. I remember I saw a little bit of her show. Was it the first episode? I don't know. Or maybe she was a part of something. I don't know. I remember saw something.
She was in Elseworlds. So,
yeah, I saw her thing in Elseworlds. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Wasn't a big fan of the long hair.
I mean, it's something you have to deal with. I mean, look.
Wasn't it a wig even then?
Yeah.
So like,
it's a wig no matter what.
Yeah, it's a wig no matter what. So.
Yeah, in the comics, like she has the red wig too.
Yeah. So I was kind of happy that once she wasn't wearing the wig, she just had her, because I think Ruby Rose, that Batman or that Batwoman, just looks so much cooler without, or like just her when she was in her getup. I was like, I just think for like the actress, how she looks, I think it would just look better with the short hair. I think it would look really cool. But
maybe.
Oh well.
Let's see. Then we're getting another Adam with Ryan Choi.
Right.
Then who else?
I think you and I were talking about how they might mention
the
Titans.
Yeah, from the DC Universe streaming service. That would be just fucking sick. Like that'd be the first on-screen Robin since Batman and Robin.
Yeah, it would.
Oh God.
And it's already a better Robin.
Yeah, and there's 2 of them.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, one's not really Robin anymore, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is he right before he?
Before Nightwing. He's transitioning to Nightwing.
Yeah, he's transitioning. He isn't quite there yet, but he's not Robin. He doesn't hold that title anymore.
Yeah, no, he gave it up. But that'd be so interesting. And even if it's just like a pass by like
Yeah,
of
we
thing.
were talking about how like they might do like a thing where similar to like the Marvel universe with like what's his name, Doctor Strange, how he like just kind of goes through. Maybe we're not actually going through. Maybe we're just seeing other multiverses, other universes, and we just happen to see them, like a little cameo of just them. I think that would just be enough to be like, cool. Everything is fucking connected.
Yeah.
And just for shits and giggles, they just show all. They show fucking. Fuck, what's his name? Current Superman.
Tyler Hoechlin?
No.
Cameron Cup?
The one with
Superman's grandfather?
Nope. The bad mustache one.
Oh, fuck. Well, nobody really cares about him anymore.
Well, I know, but I'm just
Man
saying,
of Steel.
Yeah, Man of Steel. What's his name?
I can't remember.
Fuck. Oh, well. I always remember it, but for some reason I'm blanking on it right now. But anyways, they mentioned that. Again, Halle Berry. Get the whole Christopher Nolan universe.
I'd be okay without. I'd be very okay
I
with
just
that.
want everything, man. I just want everything. Is that so bad? Like, if you're going to go this far, fuck it. Like, Titans had fucking crypto in it.
They have crypto.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm
Superboy.
saying. So that's what I'm saying.
It's going to be sick.
Just have everything. Didn't Smallville have the crypto?
Smallville did have a crypto.
Yeah.
But ended up being Shelby. Because it was just kind of like a nod. Like it there was a dog with superpowers because Lex was experimenting on animals with green kryptonite. And Shelby got powers from it, but eventually green kryptonite got out of her system. And somebody like mentioned like, what about crypto? And you're like, nah, let's just call him Shelby. It's like, all right, cool. They also had a Superboy, but that was a whole thing. He does come back in season 11, which is very fun. He's part of the Titans.
But yeah.
It's gonna be such a big. It's like Avengers level fucking like cast.
Yeah, in terms
like
of how
cast
many
numbers,
bodies and how many things you're combining, it's really the excitement is, I think, primarily just from seeing all these characters reprising roles that they haven't had in years, and just seeing them on set, just seeing them like seeing where their character is now and how they want to portray that and stuff like that. I think that's probably the number one thing, followed by all of their interactions. Because this Arrow, it's much grittier from Smallville Arrow. How they want to go, like one was more of a playboy that suffered from drug use. This one is more PTSD. That's an asshole.
Yeah.
That is more of an actual, just straight up killer. So it's just interesting to see how like they might communicate their interactions with each other.
Yeah, and like there are rumors going around that Justin Hartley's going to come back as Green Arrow, which are kind of supported by the fact that they showed his costume,
right?
In the tease for Elseworlds, and I'd be really stoked if Justin Hartley came back, even if he had a different, hopefully with a different costume.
Hopefully with a different.
I think it's a little
updated.
dated. Yeah.
I think the Arrow team needs to look at his
one less
costume.
arm would be nice too.
Huh?
One less arm would be nice.
One less arm? Oh, that'd be great. But yeah, no. I think a good thing would be if the design team, or costume design team and Arrow, if they just tweaked their costumes a little bit, just like a little bit, just just not make it as vibrantly light green and Shelly
Yellow and leather.
Because he looked more like a bee, like a green bee. He was the Green Hornet. Let's just give him that. He was Green Hornet.
And of course, with all this comes a lot of bad news. Like everybody, especially when Tom Welling was like getting his name thrown around about coming back to reprise his role, like people were asking left and right if Michael Rosenbaum was gonna come, and apparently it was an idea that was on the table. But
the Lex Luthor, correct?
Yeah, Lex Luthor from Smallville, and he was great, and I would love to see him come back. And but he ended up posting a tweet with a pretty big paragraph that was like, they contacted my team. They basically wanted me to come in with almost zero notice, pretty much no money at all, and just they basically just offered him shit just to show up. It's like asking an artist just do it for exposure. And he was like, and unfortunately, I'm not gonna, like, I told him I'll pass, and that fucking sucks. And it also makes you think, like, what did they offer everyone else?
Yeah,
you know,
right.
And
no, it sucks because the part of it is just like, but just do it because, like, man, like, this is a cool thing. It's like, do it for the fans, but at the same time, they're working professionals and they deserve to get paid for their work. So it's just like,
Michael Rosenbaum has other shit to do. He's got cons to go to. He's got podcasts to do.
And then I know with that, a lot of people were just like, oh, what about y'all gonna reference Chloe Sullivan from Smallville? Which, if you guys, that's a topic for another time. Yeah. But if you guys could probably do your own
Allison Mack,
a little Google of Allison Mack and see why she probably isn't going to be returning to reprise her role. But
and then as far as I know, up until recently as the past month or so, Cameron Cuff, who plays Segel, who is Superman's grandfather on the show Krypton, which was recently canceled.
Unfortunately.
Very unfortunately, dude. Like, season 1 was fantastic.
Numbers couldn't hold up, but apparently the fans were very... If only the fans that cried out for when it got canceled stayed the entire way, probably could have survived, unfortunately.
Like, honestly, I couldn't watch it because we don't have satellite. We didn't have satellite during the time it was airing, and season 2 is not on DC Universe, so which is kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know? And it wasn't streaming anywhere else because it's sci-fi. So the only other place that I would find it is like on a subscription service that I have to rent it from.
Right. I think that's just one of the issues with some things like sci-fi, where they're not really incorporating, like, it being odd that it's not part of the DC app, but it's a DC it's property. It's weird. Again, it makes it harder for people that might be interested in it to view it, to watch it, which only hurts the numbers, which it's a whole thing. That unfortunately things like that happen, and part of me just it is rough because, like, some of this is really good and we really want these actors who, hey, some of them are huge fans of the series and are, like, for them it's a huge thing to be playing these roles, and for them not to be able...
Oh, hell yeah. No, Cameron, he's a best friend. He's been a best friend for the Kind of Funny podcast. So he's in my circulation of things that I like, content that I consume, and especially with Kind of Funny, since we're so nearby, like, I try to keep up with it as much as possible because we run in with them and it's a whole thing. But Cameron, he came on one of the shows and he talked about it, and anytime you hear that fucking man talk about Superman, it is like you're 10 years old and someone's explaining Superman to you and you're just in wondrous awe. And he speaks so much. That man loves Superman. Nobody deserves to be part of the super family more than Cameron Cuff, who played Segel. Yes. He just wants to play Superboy so bad.
Yeah.
He wants to play Superboy so bad. And, like, I know he's appreciative of the chance that he got to play.
No, yeah, for sure.
Like, he got to wear the shield at some point because all of season 1 he didn't have a rank. The House of L was dead to the society. And then he gets it back in season 2, and that must have been so great for him. And for him not to be able to reprise that in such a big moment in history for DC, like, that hurts me, man. Like, that breaks my fucking heart. And the fact that, as far as I can tell, he's not gonna be in there. Like, honestly, if for some fucking reason, like, he shows up on screen, I'm gonna fucking cry. I'm gonna cry because I'm just gonna be so happy for him.
Yeah.
And it's shit like that, you know. Like, I don't know if it's like a budgetary thing or if they just, like an exposure thing. Like,
I read it was a time constraint, scheduling. But
which fucking sucks.
Yeah, it does suck.
He deserves to be there, but can't have everything, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I think we have run a little longer than probably
than a TeaCup. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been kind of keeping an eye on this, and I'm like, you know what? Because originally we were saying this would probably only be 20, 30 minutes. But then I realized, we're going to be talking about a whole lot of stuff. And again, one of the issues is that they are just combining so many things that it's kind of hard to not mention all of them. And then like each one kind of deserves its own like 5 minutes of us just kind of rambling about it. So it's, So
also a thing to mention to go out on, there is a pretty increasing possibility that we might get a Green Lantern.
Right.
Yeah.
So Ryan Reynolds will be coming back. Cool.
Oh, God.
But I think this has been another episode of the TeaCup. What is TopCup? TeaCup?
No, it was just another episode.
Of the mini episode?
Another episode down for the TeaCup series.
We need to work on that.
Yeah, we're still on the whiteboard with this. Yeah, I mean these are supposed to give us a good outlet for shorter episodes, just to one, produce content, and two, see what else we can do in a shorter time span.
Yeah.
It's more of like a challenge for us to see.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say shorter time span, or maybe if we don't have as many topics, but still want to like try to give you guys something. This is essentially what our teacups are about. They're just a potentially shorter version, like a mini episode, still with pretty much the same content, but just maybe it's one topic. Maybe it's a topic that we really want to express or talk about, like this one that we've been trying to figure out how to incorporate into the other shows, but maybe
it just
not.
Doesn't fit.
It just doesn't fit with like the
time wise
topics
or just interest wise. Like we got like certain people don't want to talk about certain things, and that's fine.
Yeah, or flow. Like sometimes we do have a few topics that we want to talk about in this specific episode, and then just like shoehorning DC just kind of like,
into it
doesn't really. Mental illness, these I don't think those are. They don't.
I mean, there are some parts, but I feel like it's a little off the map.
Right.
Yeah.
But you get the idea. It's just it's to not have to force topics in. It's just a nice little outlet that we have to talk about short things. Hey, maybe for instance, maybe Joel and I, because Joel and I share a lot of game topics that we want to talk with that maybe Daniel has no interest in. So that would be a teacup. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, we could. Yeah, we're still working out the kinks.
Yeah, this is only the second one.
Yeah. Last one we played a game and it was very interesting.
Yeah, I just won.
Yeah.
Right.
Which we are not going to play today.
No, because we're already running.
Pretty long. We're approaching TopCup podcast.
We've had TopCup podcast this long, or if not shorter, but whatever.
So. Yeah. No. We just close it out then?
Yeah, just
probably.
I think that's probably
the best. Yeah,
what we've been trying to hint at for the past minute.
Yeah. So, yes, this was another TeaCup episode for you. Little extra strength there, but we do what we can. If you want
2 espresso shots, even though it's not.
That's coffee.
2.
Anyway, you can find us on YouTube, of course, since you're watching. Not Patreon, because we're not that great yet.
I mean, some people set up a Patreon like right when they start a channel, to be fair.
Anyhow, yeah, you can find us on YouTube, of course. youtube.com/TopCup. Are we there yet?
Yeah, it should be.
TopCup,
yeah. So if you like what you see, you like what you hear, you can find us on youtube.com/TopCup to see our beautiful faces. And now where can they hear us?
They can hear us on Google Podcast / Google Music under the podcast section.
That was Google Podcast. Oh, wait.
You can do either one. It's fucking weird. Apple Podcast, as well as Spotify.
Spotify? You can catch us on Spotify.
So Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, as well as Spotify.
So all main
podcasting outlets.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, I would say more music media, audio media.
I guess they're under podcast sections. Just look it up.
Because I've always had a problem when Joel said that. I'm always like, I feel like there are other podcast apps that are just as big.
There are a lot.
And we just like gloss over them. We're like, all main podcasting apps. All of the other apps are just like, bro, what the fuck?
You know what else we glossed over because we were very eager to get to the topics? My name is Daniel Arroyo.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we never said that.
And this is John Oyevides. Say hi, John.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
And
Now that we're ending.
I feel like we should just shoot this again. Just cut it out.
No! You stick to it. God.
Yeah.
5-minute outro.
It's whenever Joel's not here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so this was our teacup.
Shit, we might have to. Okay, yeah. If you would like to follow any of us on social media, could you not? If you'd like to follow any of us on social media, you can find Daniel at
Your buddy Danny.
on pretty much every single thing,
Pretty
right?
much every single thing.
Okay, and you can find me on Twitter and on
Instagram.
at yeah, see, I don't know.
Clingy,
so why should they know?
Clingy Mite.
I don't know.
Oh my god, it's
It's
Clingy
either
Mite.
Clingy Mite or my name.
Clingy Mite.
Yeah. If you want to follow any of our TopCup stuff, that is also on social media.
Yeah, so we are under TopCup vids. Or is it TopCup games?
I don't know, man. Vids.
Fuck.
It's vids. It's
Everything's in the description.
Everything's in the vid description.
We're bad at this.
Hey, look, we don't have 30 episodes of practice like Joel does. Okay.
True.
Right. And with that has been another episode of a teacup. I don't know how many times I've already said that.
3.
Or we have said that. This has been another episode.
God damn
of the
it.
Teacup. Hey, Daniel, you know what this has been? Another episode of the Teacup. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
No, you're supposed to say them.
Love you, buddy.
I hate you. Goodbye.